10 degrees right now. That's right. It's getting colder instead of warmer. That's just the way it works, I suppose.
Yeah, colder instead of warmer is the way it works. That makes sense to me. But
Sure.
we're about to heat it up in here. And thanks be to God, Matthew Archibald is with us because there literally is nothing going on. I mean, we'll have to delve deeply into the mind of Matthew Archibald to come up with something today. Good morning, Matthew.
There is no deep. It's all right there on the surface. It's all bubbling up.
Skimming the surface.
I'm actually interested in you guys for once. I figure you might have something interesting to say. Are you guys, tonight, Notre Dame versus Ohio State, so you have Ohio
Notre
State
Dame
where
versus,
you live versus
Notre Dame versus
I don't know,
Penn
the
State
church
tonight.
Yeah, Penn State. But if Notre Dame plays Ohio State, who do you root for?
Probably Ohio State.
Yeah, it's Ohio State all the way because, look, and I hope my wife is not listening, Notre Dame at times can appear not to be a Catholic university. And that's how I kind of judge that thing. But no, it's Notre Dame all the way. But in my house, I mean, it's Ohio State all the way. In my household, we are divided. My wife is Notre Dame 1,000%, and I'm Ohio State. So we've already agreed to watch in different places if that game comes to pass.
It's like a trial separation just for that day.
That's right.
And look, when it's brought up how I can pull against Notre Dame, I bring up some of the people they've invited to speak at Notre Dame and make an argument that at times they don't act as Catholic as they should.
Yeah, they do make it easy to make that argument sometimes.
No, I do love Notre Dame, but I'm just saying I can find justification.
Now, Matt, are you rooting for Penn State tonight?
No, I am actually rooting. So my wife, I've pulled her over. She was Penn State, but now I pulled her over to rooting for Notre Dame. Even though, like, to be honest, I wouldn't even send my kids there. Like, I literally wouldn't. But there is something still about you get this stuff from your father, you know? And my dad was a Notre Dame nut, and it just passes down. It's a terrible, terrible disease. And you just keep rooting for it.
Yeah, and I have to say, in every other game Notre Dame ever played in its history, I would pull for it. Just when it plays Ohio State, I wouldn't. So,
because Ohio State's such a holy, upright institution.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, and appointed by God, and there's no doubt about that.
Appointed by God. Wow.
And here's the thing: you have to say this. Marcus Freeman is one fabulous dude. I mean, what a great Catholic guy, what a great family guy, what a great representative of the Catholic faith as a new convert, really.
Yeah, and he reinstituted going to Mass before games.
Yeah.
For the team. I mean,
That's true.
And he's great. He makes Notre Dame a lot easier to root for now. And, it's funny that now that they all go to Mass and, it seems like the football team is more Catholic than the school at times, but
well, yeah. If you heard this quarterback talk and some of the others, it's just crazy to hear their testimonials.
It's great, though.
Yeah.
Don't you hear it more often now? Aren't you hearing a little more? Before it was Tim Tebow and a few others. It's a lot more now.
It really is.
People are really feeling free now to talk about that.
Yeah, and they're being pretty outspoken too. I mean, all over the place.
Yeah, and it truly is encouraging, and then it's great. So I wanted to come on here today. All this football talk is besides the point here, folks. So I'm starting the Bible over, the New Testament over, and I'm starting, and I read something amazing. The mother and father of Jesus lose him, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of a big deal. And I don't feel like we talk about this enough. Every parent has had that moment, right?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Okay, I lost my kid, right? I don't know where he or she is. And then imagine losing your kid who is God.
Yeah.
And to think about
the
ramifications of that.
We're in trouble now.
And then as parents, think about being told, and we're going to put this incident of your parenting fail in the Bible, the most read book in the world. I would be like, wait a second, no one needs to know that.
Right. And not just for a minute. I mean, we're talking about for 3 days. I lost one of my sons in the Home Depot for about 10 minutes, and I thought I was going to go crazy. I can't imagine losing a child for 3 days. I mean, come on.
And amazingly, if you look into that moment, Jesus, it was Passover, and they lost him on Passover for 3 days, going towards Jerusalem, going away from Jerusalem, which is really, when you think about it, it's amazing. When you think about the foreshadowing of that.
Oh yeah, right.
Wow.
But that is one thing that the Bible does so well, and I really love reading it, because everything is old and everything is new. You know, nothing changes. We don't change. We're still the same people. Nobody escapes in this. The apostles come off as constantly squabbling fourth graders. You know,
Yeah, right.
Peter gets called Satan, and that's in there. You know, he's our first pope. You have to have thought, if we're trying to push this religion on people, maybe calling our first pope Satan isn't the best move. You know?
Maybe leave that part out, yeah.
Right, exactly. The wise men nearly get Jesus killed. Think about that. They travel for weeks, months, whatever they do. They get invited to the king, and they're spilling what they're doing. I would have loved to have been there, that moment when they realized King Herod was a paranoid, murderous tyrant, and they immediately downship him, saying, "Oh, we're here to find the King of Kings, too. We're just looking for some guy. You know, he owes us some money, you know."
Yeah.
And then they got to go to the Holy Family, give their gifts, and break the bad news. Hey, we kind of made you the target of a manhunt. You may want to leave town now.
Yeah, right. It's really nice to see you leave. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
What an adventure story.
Right. So, I mean, it really just shows you just so many people. No one's perfect here other than the obvious. But what a wonderful read it is. And the stories in it, the people in it, you can't get enough of it. If you delve into it, it's truly one of the great blessings to be able to look at it and look at every character in it, look at every person in it, and find yourself in them.
You know, I know Father Mike Schmidt's Bible in a Year is very popular. Of course, listen to that. But I'd love to hear Matthew Archbold's version of the Bible in a year.
This would be a very, very different.
Man, you'd give it to us, and then you'd take these little side roads with us. That'd be fun.
My son was in the Nativity play, and he came to me. He was like, "I really want to do a good job. I'm one of the wise men, Dad." And he's like, "Who's the greatest actor ever? Because I'll just copy what he does." So I told him the truth. The greatest actor on screen, William Shatner. Right?
Oh my God!
My son watches Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan about 37 times, and he goes up there in the Nativity, and he goes full Shatner. He is like,
my goodness!
Like he is truly like, "Come, Gaspar and Melchior, we need to follow the star."
Oh my goodness!
As my kid does this, my wife is glaring at me like I'm at fault here.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Love it, love it, love it. Matt Archbold, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Matthew.
God bless.